my name is Cheryl Mukherji and I'm the 2021 Workspace Resident at Baxter Street at the Camera Club of New York. Matrimonial photographs are photographs taken specifically for the purpose of arranging an arranged marriage in India. It is usually accompanied by a horoscope and a biodata, and they are taken usually within studios or in a domestic space, depending on what you want the matrimonial photograph to convey. And the photograph acts as a substitute for personal interaction. It becomes sort of a currency in this arranged marriage market where you want to set two people up, basically, and the first point of contact is always a photograph. Very much like how it is on dating apps now. I just drew connections between how the dating market or reality shows like The Bachelorette work, where there's like the same idea of the photograph as an initial point of contact when you have an idea of what a person is, and then you get to know them more on a dating app. And I think like the matrimonial photograph translates into the dating app pretty seamlessly in the form of a thirst trap. And I think in the arranged marriage system and dating apps, the common point is that you are letting someone else do the desiring for you. The title of the work is Wanted Beautiful Home Loving Girl, which was actually a headline on a classified advertisement in a newspaper. But it was just one of the headlines that said, Wanted Beautiful Home Loving Girl for a man who is this. It was really funny and like amusing. That was the only qualifier that a woman needed to have in order to be set up. And I thought it like encompassed everything that was going on in the arranged marriage system when it came to like, what kind of women do you find desirable to be set up for an arranged marriage? So I thought it was just like funny to just name the show that, because it just like gets to the point. I actually started this work with my family albums. I found a resemblance between my mother's looks and mine. I look exactly like my mother, and my work is in a lot of ways about my origin, my inheritance, my relationship with my mother. And in finding this resemblance, I just started connecting the dots and like pulling threads from it, thinking about this idea that if I look like my mother, then I would become like her. My mother went through this tradition of having herself photographed for the purpose of an arranged marriage, and it almost felt like an unsaid inheritance that yeah, you have to follow this path. So I think that is why I started making self-portraits, but it also came from a very playful, performative place where I felt most comfortable photographing myself. And I wanted to just play with the idea of what desire meant to me or what I wanted to portray myself as. So I set up a studio in my apartment, and the work started with making self-portraits of myself alongside photographs of my mother, where I was just interested in re-entering the family album. This work then became a space for me to play out desirability, to play out what people thought was desirable. It was fun for me to try to depict like what I thought was desirable versus what I really am, and what people find desirable in contrast to that. Photography was limiting in a lot of ways when I wanted to talk about certain ideas. I don't think I approach my work with a dedication to form of photography itself, but I'm more interested in how a photograph functions within a system. When I make these sculptural things like a matchbox, there's still a photograph on it. When I make a newsprint, or when I'm finding these found images in like thrift stores, they are still photographs. They're not my photographs, but just seeing how a photograph circulates within a social setting rather than just being fixated on the idea of making more. It's hard work to break away from that. Oh, my mother went through this in her 20s and I must do as like a rite of passage, even though I am slowly doing my work of breaking away from those standards and breaking away from those notions of what peak desirability in women look like. I need to get married in my 20s because my mother did. Or that's what I think.